Question: इन तीन कैरेक्टर्स के बीच में क्या कॉमन है? विद्या बागची फ्रॉम कहानी, सहमत फ्रॉम राजी एंड नीरजा भनोत फ्रॉम द फिल्म नीरजा. सोच लिया? Well, if you're thinking कि तीनों की inner strength काफी admirable थी, then you are right.
Dabur Amla, what women want. Co-powered by Jenny Jenny Chai.
This is Dabur Amla, what women want, और आज हम बात कर रहे हैं about women and their inner strength. Inner strength एक बहुत important हिस्सा होता है of a woman's life, which is why my guest today is someone whose inner strength has been tested time and again. That's right, people. Lisa Ray is joining me now to share her story on inner strength. Thank you, Lisa, for coming.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I love what you're wearing. You're matching the couch.
Yes, I am, and that was the scare when I wore this outfit. I was like, oh my God, I hope I just don't merge into this couch.
Yeah, but I don't think you can. It doesn't work. You don't merge into places.
No, but thanks so much for coming today on the show and sharing your Dabur Amla story of inner strength. मुझे पता है तुम इस बारे में ज़्यादा बात नहीं करती हो. You've never really gone out and spoken about it. Obviously, I have to ask you this, that when you were first diagnosed with cancer, how did you come to terms with it?
I refuse to believe that.
So how did you find this out, that this is...
You know, that was also a bit of a journey. I, as usual, being in this business that we both are in, I was used to actually overriding my body's signals.
Absolutely.
Right? Isn't that
We
something
all
that we
do
do,
that in this
right?
profession.
You show up and you've got a fever and we can't go home, right? You're still expected to perform. So a doctor shows up, gives you a shot, gives you a pill, and you continue. So that had become my default. So basically, I was not tuning into what my body was telling me. I was experiencing a lot of fatigue until finally I couldn't get off the ground after a yoga class. I was in Shavasana, literally in Shavasana for about an hour. And I realized something is not right. Finally, when I got my blood test done, I'll never forget this because the doctor actually stood up from behind the table when she saw the results and she said, "How are you even standing? You should be going into cardiac arrest because your red blood cell count is so low." Then I realized that this is not something to be proud of.
Right.
You know, in our world today, we tend to celebrate these heroes who are like, you push yourself past your limits and blah, 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 blah. And actually, I think that there's a lot of damage in doing that. That I think that balance is a better way of doing it. And I know that for one, pushing myself past my body's limits almost killed me.
And how did you gather the strength to tell your friends, your family members?
You know, I was basically underground. I didn't know how to handle it. I told people very close to me, but not a lot of other people. And I was also advised not to speak about it openly.
Of course.
But at the same time, I had a film at that time which was releasing at the Toronto International Film Festival. So then I had a decision that I had to make. So either I disappear, I hide, or I go onto the red carpet and I lie about why I'm suddenly 40 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Or I can actually use this moment on the red carpet, which to be honest is a moment where I feel a lot of women are, like, we're really scrutinized, right?
Yes,
like it makes you very I have always felt very self-conscious, you know?
Because everyone's looking you up and down, what you're doing.
Up and down, have you gained weight, have you lost weight, I don't like your shoes, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, you know what? Finally, I'm going to use this moment to stand there and announce my diagnosis. And by speaking about it publicly, openly, sharing my story of going through this difficult time, which I have to admit initially was terrifying. I got so much support from across the world, from India, and you know, I was in Canada at the time, and that gave me the courage, obviously, to just, you know, created a community of support where it wasn't me helping others, but it was others' prayers and support helping me, energizing me to get through this difficult time.
What has been your lowest low while battling this fatal disease?
I think, to be honest, I relapsed once. And this is something that I haven't spoken about extensively. And it happened, ironically, just a month after getting married.
Okay.
So that was really, really a difficult time. I was actually hiding that secret from my husband. I thought I just have to get through the shadi, and then I'll figure out what to do. So that was a real low because, in a sense, the first time I was dealing with cancer, I was single. And I do have to say that sometimes, I think a lot of women feel this, that we feel that strength that I can handle it on my own. But when you see the effect
it
has on people that are very close to you, your husband, your kids, your family, that is very harrowing. So the second round, I had this beautiful man who had just become my husband, who had just consented to, you know, getting married to this woman with this fatal disease. And the first piece of news I had to share with him was like, baby, thanks for marrying me. By the way, I probably have to go back on treatment. So that was very difficult, and at the same time, I took that as a signal or as a message that there was something that I was missing. There was some piece of the puzzle that I was missing in terms of the healing journey. And so soon after that, I started incorporating a lot of nutrition and holistic healing. And ironically, within 3 months of me changing my diet radically, of course, radically, I went sort of raw, and then I went vegan, and then I went vegetarian, and changing my lifestyle radically. Within 3 months, I was back in remission. But now I like saying that I do the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I eat and do what I'm supposed to, and 20% of the time you just gotta like blow it out and live.
Of course.
And enjoy, because I actually really love food.
I know, but no restrictions now.
No huge restrictions, but my body's kind of evolved. I don't know if you've gone through this, but when you sort of change your diet and you stop sugar, for instance, your taste buds change. So I actually crave different things now. Though I do love my pizza, and you know, and I'm a Bengali, so I do love like some of my sweets and stuff like that.
Which is fine. Lisa, thode time pehle I remember seeing a reply of yours that you gave to a troll who made a comment about, you know, you aging. And I think your response was, you're right, I'm old, older than time, my boy. Perhaps you will never grow up in your mind, but your body will. And it's a blessing to be wise. A cancer survivor and living my best life at 46. Unshakably secure and happy in my spirit and body. Hope you can experience that someday. ये जवाब देने से पहले तुम्हारे दिमाग में, like, what was going on in your mind?
This one, I felt like it was an opportunity to make a statement. Because first of all, yes, I am old. I'm 47 and I'm proud of it. You know, that's one thing that I wanted to make that statement. And then secondly, it was just, as I said, an opportunity, I think, to not just educate this boy, but many other people across India and on social media who have these kinds of really regressive ideas about women and what they should look like. And I honestly didn't take it personally. I just felt like, let me set you straight on this. Of course, I'm old, but this is actually the best phase I've ever been through in my entire life. And I mean that sincerely. I think that my whole life, I call myself a bit of a late bloomer, kind of really settled as soon as I hit 40. So, you know, I feel like...
But that generally happens, which is nice, I think. It's okay
to
be settled
amazing,
at 40.
But it's amazing also. I mean, the way that I'm comfortable in myself, my own skin, embrace myself, my new body, my silhouette, everything about me. And also, you know, we become so confident, I think, women in and of ourselves when we get older, that nobody can shake that. It's sort of so unshakable that that's the best time to sort of challenge these trolls. Young trolls. And the other irony, of course, is that we all get old, baby.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, what are you trying to say?
That's the truth. जब तुम treatment करवा रही थी, तुम एक blog maintain किया तुमने, which finally then became a book.
Yes.
And so what made you do this? Like document the blog and then finally, you know, make it into a book?
I think really I started the blog to understand and to just process what I was going through, because writing has been my go-to always, you know. I have then time to really reflect and understand. And at the same time, it was a very spontaneous thing. It was actually when I was on steroids and a little bit crazed in the middle of the night that I started writing my blog. It wasn't really something that was calculated. And there was such a beautiful response that it gave me the courage to start now finally pursuing what I believe is actually my life's mission, which is to write.
And I think it's your first book, but it's not stopped there. You have a 3-book deal. So do you want to tell us about that?
This is really the most gratifying thing that the book has been warmly received, both critically and by
I would love a copy
people.
of it.
Well, as a matter of fact, we placed one here.
Ooh, and I hope it's a signed copy.
And of course, it's a signed copy.
Yes,
I wouldn't have
lovely.
it any other way.
So we have a big library in our home, you know, and this is going to definitely.
I'm so excited. Honestly,
be a part of it, and I'm going to read it for sure.
I'm humbled and touched, you know, to be able to share this with you.
Well, I think it's been a wonderful episode. You are a brave, brave woman, and I'm absolutely honored to have you on my couch.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.